Hi, I'm Emma Blackery, and welcome to the Sarah O'Connell Show.
Welcome to the Sarah O'Connell Show.
Emma Blackery, welcome to the Sarah O'Connell Show. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you? Are you enjoying the heat wave that's going on at the minute?
It is something ridiculously hot, isn't it?
It's horrible. It's absolutely
I thought
horrible.
it was January, and now I've had to go and put a fan on for the first time. I've been sat in the fridge for hours.
It's awful. We've got one fan in this house, and we're sort of splitting it between rooms. Like wherever we go, the fan's going, and it's so bad. I'm trying to do a bit more exercise at the minute as well, trying to improve my fitness. And the last couple of days, it's been completely impossible to do anything. I'm like trying to do press ups. I'm sliding along the floor. It's horrible. But I'm happy to hear you're doing okay anyway.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I normally get exhausted just getting ready to exercise. Like I'll put a video on and I'll put my trainers on and stuff, and then I need to rest.
You bend down and put your trainers on. You just go, man, I'm out of breath.
I'm never going to reach those. How am I supposed to get down there?
That's exactly how I've been. I have zero fitness level. I've been trying to increase it. When I first started doing it, I think I could do like two sit-ups. Now I think I've got to like 10 before it's just agonizingly painful. So it's working, but it's very slow.
I can do 10 sit-ups, but not in the same week. Like it's that is 10 knees getting out of bed each day.
10 spread over the course of 10 days.
Yeah.
Just getting up, or like getting up off the sofa for more like crisps or something. That's the kind of exercise I can do. That's great.
Exactly.
Reaching for another chocolate.
I just eat the food around me, and if there isn't anything, I just wait for an animal to hopefully go past.
Oh my god, just pick it up on its way. Well,
exactly. So you started off many years ago. You're working in retail, at shoe shops and clothes shops, and you're a waitress and all that good stuff. What was your dream job when you were growing up? Did you want to be a singer then?
Oh, do you know what? I always wanted to be a singer. It was always like the pipe dream sort of thing. Like, you know, you'd sit in my bedroom and pretend I was performing to a great big crowd. But I never went to like any drama school or performing theatre school or anything like that. And I kind of had it in my head, even from a young age, that it wasn't going to be something that I could do for a living. I was thought it was just going to be like the dream. So apart from that, the more like realistic side of me, I never had this one thing that I wanted to be. I felt like everyone else at school, everyone else at college, like they had this whole plan. You know, it's like, I want to be a vet, I want to be a lawyer, all this stuff. And I'm just there like, I want to sing. And that's all I had. I think the longest I focused on something as a career was I wanted to be an English teacher because I was good at English. I found it interesting. I wanted to go to university to get a PhD in linguistics and look at like speech development in children and all that stuff. And then I just ended up not going to uni because I was too anxious to leave home. I was too anxious to leave my family because it was something that I really, really struggled with. And then I started working in, I can say it now, VHS. I can say it now, they're not a thing anymore. So I started working there, and while I was there, I started making YouTube videos. So that's how everything started to sort of unravel in my life.
And so, speaking of which, you launched your YouTube channel in May 2012. Happy anniversary, by the way. As it happens, it's my 4-year anniversary tomorrow, which I just realised.
Oh, wow.
So that's fun.
Happy anniversary to you too.
Thank you very much.
Oh, but it's been 8 years. It was weird saying that. Like starting when I was 20 and I didn't know a damn thing about myself, but I thought I knew everything about myself. To still be doing this 8 years on, it's like the longest job I've ever had, probably the longest job I ever will have, because I usually get fired from jobs. So weird. It's gone so quick as well. So much has happened in 8 years. So many achievements, music wise, and you know, comedy wise, everything. It's weird to think about it in the space of 8 years, to be honest.
Funny, isn't it? And looking back, your show features comedy and vlogs and music and loads of entertaining stuff.
I wrote a book. I've starred in like not like TV shows, but like short films. I've done presenting jobs. I've performed at Wembley Arena, the O2 Arena. I'm not saying that as in like, let me list off all the things I've done, but it's weird. It's not something that, I don't know if people might think that, you know, people who have accomplished these things, whether they wake up and look in the mirror and like I'm this person, I've done all these things, but you know, I don't think about all the things on a day-to-day basis. I usually just try and just get through the day without eating lots and lots of crisps. So when things, oh, tell me about it. But
the only way for me to stop eating crisps is if I physically run out of crisps.
yeah, and then you do your exercise for the day, which is walk into the shops to get more crisps. I like how we keep going back to eating crisps. This is what this whole interview is going to be about. Like anyway, I like every anniversary of my YouTube channel that comes up, because I always see that as like the start of when things really started to happen in my life, because I've been in bands before that, but this was like the catalyst for everything. Every year it rolls around and I just feel really weird, really great, really proud, but really weird about it, really surreal. Just like, hang on, I started making stupid videos copying other bloggers in my bedroom in my dad's house with a camera with no lighting, no external microphones, anything. And now I'm living with my partner in Birmingham, being able to be like self-sufficient with music, and I think this is like my 6th or 7th EP, depending on whether you count my very first one or not. Weird, and released an album, and it's like, hang on, what what happened? What did I do? I know I've done a lot of things right, and I know I've done a lot of things wrong, but how on earth did I get here? It's
and you now almost have a guitar for every single finger, which is great.
Oh, do you know what? Most of these are my partner's. It looks like my collection. I'd love to claim it, but the only ones that are mine are the red one down there, the red guitar and the acoustic guitar. The rest of them are mostly bass guitars, which, because my partner's the bassist from a band called Pop Believe Yourself, and which I didn't know when we met at all. And then we moved in together, and now the house is full of basses everywhere. I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. We've got a great big flight case there for when he does tours, and it's this studio is just music equipment. It's this side that you can't see is really nice, but this side, unfortunately, I haven't sorted out my backdrop yet. It doesn't look too grand. I apologize.
So I always have, so my entire room's a mess, but I always keep an exact clean rectangle in the room so it's tidy. So there's just stuff stacked up really high either side.
But then you don't, then you can say, well, it's not like a mess. This part's tidy. And then you can train your eyes to only see the nice tidy bit, which is what I've got here. And then this bit I just never think about, and it's like, oh yeah, that thing that I haven't done at all. Oh, it's it's a bit hectic behind me, but oh dear, I'm in no position to start moving things around in this heat whatsoever. I can barely move my body around in this heat, let alone move heavy things. Not happening.
Just wait until winter again. Just mentally remember to do it.
Yeah, I don't mind winter at all. You know, everyone's like, oh, I don't like the cold. I love the cold. The cold's great. I much prefer it to heat. Oh, yeah. It's just, don't like it. Don't like it. I like a cold bedroom and a great big thick duvet, and I'm fine.
Yes,
you know.
Exactly. And that's what I was waking up to today, but apparently I wasn't, and it's now I'm in a tropical heat wave.
Exactly. We're in the Bahamas, except way worse situations.
Yeah.
It's at the minute it's just like duvet on, duvet off, duvet on, duvet off. I can't sleep on top of anything. I need to have something over me. It's not good. I think I'm going to get to a point of just sleeping with like an empty duvet cover over me soon. It won't be long.
It's massively problematic. So over the years you've done loads of fun videos. Have you got any favourite ones that you particularly enjoyed working on? I love the one where you did like a real life episode of The Sims and stuff like that. What were your favourites?
You know what? I think that one that you just said, The Sims in real life, was really, really fun to film. It took forever to film it and get all the effects right for it. I also like doing the I lived like a sim for 24 hours, which was a challenge that I hadn't seen being done before. It turns out one other creator had done it like 8 months before me. I'd never seen the video. It didn't come up in any searches for me. So in that moment, I was really proud because I felt like I'd come up with this challenge. and it did really, really well. And it was like one of the first things where like I've created a challenge that other creators have then taken on board. Because I tried that in the past, so like challenges, and you know, I can't name any now because that's how bad they were. But like trying to get other people to do them and have it all kick off. But this one actually did, and loads and loads of really big channels. Some of my favorite channels did the challenge. I think BuzzFeed even did it, which was weird. They're not one of my favorite channels, don't get me wrong. But they got the idea from someone who got the idea from me, and then some of my fans were like, "You didn't credit Emma," so then they credited me in the description. I think they credited me as Emma Blackberry for a while, as most people do. But yeah, I was really, really proud of that one. A lot of people like the one about the like ladies, women's products, feminine hygiene, the tampon commercial one. Looking back, do you know what? I wouldn't shoot that again. I don't regret doing it, but I'm certainly. I think because I was so much younger, I had so much less of a. I gave way less of a crap about what people thought, and I don't think I'd go to a packed beach with red food coloring all over my bikini now at the age of 28. I think I was like 23, 24 when I did that. But even in those short years, you change so much as a person. I don't think it's something that I'd do again. But people really love it. It's one of my most popular videos. So.
Exactly. Now, as you mentioned earlier, in 2012, you released your first EP, Human Behavior.
Yeah, wow.
What are the challenges of releasing music independently?
I love that you know about that EP, because that was never released on iTunes or Spotify or anything. I just released it. It was just it was on Bandcamp, which was it's a great site for independent artists to put their music out for people who actually want to like buy and pay what they want and actually get a physical MP3 download of it, you know, rather than like streaming and things. It's a great platform. Some of the struggles of being an independent artist that I've experienced, first off, it was just trying to get my music out there. I know that before I started my YouTube channel, you know, I post out that EP to my friends and my family, and you know, it would get like 10 listens or so, and I was really happy with that. That was fantastic. But then I decided I wanted to make a music video for one of the songs, which was Fixation. And I don't have a copy of it anymore. I wish I did, because it's the first video I ever filmed on a DSLR camera. I bought the camera specifically for that, and I started my channel to upload this music video that I've since deleted, and I'd give anything to have it back just to watch it and cringe. But I spent like £600 on my first ever credit card to get this DSLR camera to film a music video, and so I was so. I think both of my parents thought it was going to be like this phase, but trying to get my music out there in the first place. When I started my channel and uploaded that, I think it got like 50 views or so, which was great. I was really, really excited about it, but it wasn't until I started reading 50 Shades of Grey to an audience in the summer that book came out. I didn't realize like how important relevance was. And how I was in the right place at the right time. It wasn't until I started doing that people started knowing more about me and who I was. And then, like a few months after, I was like, "Hang on a minute, people actually are looking at me now. Why am I not putting music out there?" So that's one of the struggles. There are so many struggles being an independent artist, but there are loads of struggles being a signed artist as well. To be honest, like some of the things I've seen, some of the disputes that artists have had with labels. They're stuck in contracts for 7 years, or like a 7-album deal they sign when they're 12 years old. I don't think one's inherently better than the other. I think they both have their struggles, but it's all about being smart enough to work out what's right for you, and not just being excited about like, oh my god, I could get signed. It's not this big pageantry that I used to think it was as a kid. You know, like when I was a child and I wanted to be a singer, the main goal was always get signed by a record label. That was always the thing that was like the Everest of every wannabe artist. But now I feel like there's so much more power in independent artists, the ability to upload our own music to Spotify, a SoundCloud. So many independent artists are getting spotted by record labels, and then they're turning down the record label deals, you know, because the power is with us in social media now. And it's amazing that that's happened in the time since I started uploading stuff to YouTube 8 years ago, where that was very, very limited, to now just the power is in the artist's hands, and it's fantastic. It really, really is.
It's exciting. It's exciting, isn't it? Because it means that more artists have the chance to be discovered. And while obviously some things have bigger platforms than others, the songs ultimately speak for themselves, and hopefully, you know, loads more people are going to get discovered this way, which is great for everybody.
Exactly. I mean, I think perhaps one of the downsides, talking about the struggles, speaking of that, is you're right in that, you know, you work hard and the music's good, but in my experience, what I've found and what I've seen is sometimes, like, it's not always like the cream rises to the top kind of thing. Like, it's not always, I don't know if that's the right expression, but it's not like, so just because something is great, because there's so much out there now, with the ability of everyone being able to upload, and everyone being able to create stuff in their bedroom. You know, everyone's able to create like a 32 hi-hat beat now. You know, because there's so much out there, it's harder to differentiate yourself and get yourself out there. And you do kind of have to, by default, bring along a personality with you, and not just in your songs anymore as well. Labels still hold a lot of the financial benefits. You can buy spots on iTunes, you can buy plugs on Amazon Music, Google Play, you can buy like the little banners. I used to think on the iTunes store, these banners that I thought were like curated by Apple, found out recently, like, oh, you can buy them. And I was shocked. The amount of money that labels have to promote artists, you know, that it drowns out all of, not only the independent artists, but also the small artists that they've signed. Record labels, in the way that some of them work, in fact, the majority of the big ones work, is they sign a ton of small artists, like they call them like developmental. They've had like 1 or 2 songs on SoundCloud or something. They're like, oh yeah, we'll sign you to like a 1 album deal. They're all fantastic. And they won't make any money from that artist. They won't put money into marketing. They won't make a big push, and they'll lose money on that artist, and then they'll, you know, replace them. The only way these labels stay financially successful is because of the like very few big artists they have, like Lady Gaga, Ed Sheeran, things like that, and they're the ones that bring in the finance for the other artists to even be put on the label. So there's a massive divide between the small artists they sign and these big ones. These ones that generate the money are obviously going to get the biggest amount of time on marketing, the biggest amount of budget for things, because spend money to make money. So labels are in a very weird position now, I find. They sign too many artists, but that's because there's so many artists out there. There's so many A&R scouts for every label that they'll just like find, as soon as they find you, it's like, oh, have that one, and that one, and that one, and that one. Oh, you've released a song, we want to sign you. And it can be very, very dangerous to just, you know, sign a contract on a whim like that as well. If you don't feel like a label has their focus on you, there's no benefit to signing with them whatsoever. You might get a small advance, you might get a little bit of money up front, but then you have to recoup it. And if you are a small artist and you can't recoup it, then you're just constantly in debt to a label. It's, you know, that's why a lot of people, I find, you know, they choose to release independently, because they spend their own money to make the album, and then they don't owe anybody anything. They've spent everything, and once they've recouped that for themselves, that's it. You know, it's all theirs. And then they also own all their masters. They own all the distribution rights. So yeah, it's interesting. It's just that there's a lot of struggles in the industry, whether you're independent or signed. I feel like I went on a bit there, but
I know, it's good. I love in-depth stuff like that, because I know that Taylor Swift had a problem, and I think she's trying to sort of battle to get ownership of her early albums back right now.
She wasn't offered the option to buy back her masters from her previous record label because she wanted to leave, and out of spite, they were sold to someone that's been notorious for being horrible to Taylor Swift, and managing artists that have also been horrible to Taylor Swift. And it was more the fact that she wasn't given the choice, more she wasn't given the option, and she had to watch all this music that she'd written over the last like 10 years or so, more than 10 years now, put in the hands of someone that she knows doesn't like her. seeing, you know, all the rights to it, you know, everything being distributed, and you know, it's just that lack of control, the lack of courtesy of being given that option to buy them back. And she said I would have bought them back at any cost, you know, and she wasn't even given the decency of being offered that. I think it's gross, it's horrible. There's so many background politics in the industry. It can be really disillusioning, if that's even a word. Yeah, it's rough.
And who are your musical inspirations? Who did you grow up loving, and who are you enjoying at the moment?
Well, I mean, we just spoke about one. Taylor Swift is one of my biggest inspirations ever. I started listening to her back in 2014. Before that, I think I was very much on the bandwagon of like a lot of people were, because it was so very easy. But oh, Taylor Swift, oh, she only writes about her ex-boyfriends, and I didn't have any passion behind that statement. It was just because everyone else was saying it, I was saying it. I felt like a lot of people fell into that sort of thought process. And then she released Shake It Off in 2014. I was like, oh no, this is amazing. And then going back in her back catalogue, she's a phenomenal songwriter and an amazing businesswoman. She inspires me in many, many ways. Hayley Williams from Paramore. She just released her debut solo record, and it's incredible. She's always inspired me. I grew up listening to Paramore in my teens, so she's been a massive inspiration since I was like 12 or 13. Before her, I had listened to like Blink-182 and Green Day, and they were like my favorite bands at that time, but I hadn't ever gone into a band where it was like pop punk that I loved with a female vocalist before. And she made me feel like it was possible. I could do this. And because that was back when I wanted to be in a band, like not be a solo artist, I wanted to be in a band, which I quickly learned is hard. It's so hard. Musicians have such big egos. I have a big ego. I'm a narcissist. Every musician in a band is a narcissist, because you have to be. You have to be a musician. So when you've got 5 narcissists in a room, oh, it's awful.
Only one mirror.
It's chaotic, honestly. Neither of my bands lasted more than like a few months. It was bad. And then when my second one split, I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna go solo now. And I did. And it worked out well.
It really did.
Worked out a lot better.
I must congratulate you too. You now got over 1 million YouTube subscribers. That's phenomenal.
Thank you.
Now, I've crunched the numbers, and I worked out, being a mathematical genius, if we took your entire fan base and my entire fan base and combined them, we'd have over 1 million subscribers.
Amazing! That's fantastic!
I worked that out this morning. I'm like, oh my God, this is it. This is how.
That's it. Should we be a joint channel?
I think we should just merge them.
I
don't know how.
You upload way more often than I do. So if you want to just join my channel, we'll be a little, you know, duo. I'm down for that.
Yeah,
we can
that
share
could
it.
Work.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that.
You want to get 1 million subscribers overnight?
I can learn to play the ukulele or something.
Fuck. Oh, please don't. I hate the ukulele so much. I hate it. When I wrote that Google Plus song that did really well and went viral, people didn't realize the whole reason that I chose to play it on ukulele was to parody the fact that vloggers liked playing ukulele, like Charlie used to feel like back in the day. It was supposed to be like a tongue-in-cheek, oh, I'm a YouTuber. But now I still get asked on my live streams, like, can you play Google Plus? I'm like, I broke my ukulele. It's broken. When I was moving, I think like I kicked it and it broke, and I was like, oh no, oh, what am I gonna do? I hate ukulele. I think it's, you know what, I don't have a problem with people that want to play it. It's just not for me. I don't like it. I don't like writing on it. I don't like performing on it. I think some people make it sound fantastic. I think there's some really talented artists out there who use it, and they build this entire empire based around this instrument, and that's great. Just not for me. I have such a vendetta against ukuleles. It's terrible.
I'm now worried you might not like your Christmas present.
Oh no. Oh shit. Is it a ukulele covered in tinsel by any chance?
Maybe.
Well, I'll take the tinsel. I do like tinsel. Well, that's
a
me,
good idea.
so now I've got to get you something. Oh
yeah.
I'm so bad at presents. My partner's birthday on June 2nd, and he's one of those lovely humans who's just like, don't get me anything. I don't want anything. I don't need anything. Save your money. I'm just like, that's not how birthdays work. I am the love of your life. I cannot not buy you something.
Yeah, because you still have to get something. It's just that you have zero guidance on it whatsoever.
You have no clue, you know, or like sometimes it's worse when people are like, oh, just get me anything. I don't mind. It's like, okay, I'll find some dog crap on the side of the road and give it to you because you said you don't mind. Of course you'd mind. So just tell me what you want. Just tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
Yeah.
Like, hopefully not a Spice Girls CD.
Yeah.
I think I still have mine somewhere. Oh God.
I definitely do. I think I have a box of CDs somewhere.
I've got one of those car folders.
Yeah.
You put them all in the little plastic folders. I have on my my private Amazon wish list a boombox. Not like an 80s one, but like just one of those small ones we used to have. You know, those big round fat plastic things. Because I realize I have so many CDs and I just spend so much time when I want to listen to music. I open my laptop now. Sometimes I don't want to do that. You know, I've got all these CDs lying around and I don't have a CD player. We're now at that point with technology where I grew up with CDs and now I don't have a CD player.
Exactly.
It's weird. It's
my CD collection is so weird because it's kind of like a time capsule now because I started getting them in about 1995 and to about 2004 or something when I started buying MP3s.
So it's just
it's like I've got now 35 and stuff like that.
My first now was now 45.
Nice.
I was 8, I think. That was the era where I started getting now CDs. I think the last one I got was like now 60. I don't think I even got to 60. I definitely didn't get to 60. But now CDs were great. I used to love them. Now, I don't know. I think either my music tastes have changed or I'm not so into what is contemporary pop music in the same way. I can't remember when I tuned out of just listening to what's on the radio because I shouldn't, because I want to be a successful pop artist. You know, there is always a business element to it, but the passion to follow what music you actually enjoy making is way stronger. It always will be. So. You know, if I was offered like all the sort of fame and fortune in the world, but it came as, you know, but you have to write music that sounds like Despacito or something, I'd be like, I can't do it. I'd be rich, I'd be successful, I'd go to the Grammys, but I would be miserable as fuck. It's crap. I'd rather be here, being happy, making what I like.
Absolutely, and long may it continue.
Yes, hopefully. Thank you. Hopefully I'll be here making EPs and albums for years to come. Who knows? I want to start a Patreon soon, so I have like a little more tight-knit community of people who are really focused on like wanting to support my music. You know, I saw you recently started a Patreon.
I have. It's really exciting. So it's so nice because I can interact with people that enjoy my show in different ways and take them behind the scenes of my interviews and tell them what's coming up and give them the chance to ask questions and all that good stuff too.
It's so nice. It's so nice. I had a Patreon back in 2017, I think, when I was making videos like wearing only denim for a day or wearing clear plastic jeans for a day or using my first ever mobile phone for a day. These were videos that were based on like spending money, like ordering things, and I was at a point where I think I just released my EP Magnetized. I think I'd just done that, so I spent a lot of money, and I was starting to panic a little bit because my book was still in the works, and I wasn't really having a lot of means to generate income, so I was panicking. I thought, well, I really want to continue making these videos, but I'm going to need some support. And in the time that I had it was great. We had like a little Discord server. We had, I think it was like weekly Q&A videos, I think, weekly live streams. But I always had a pledge of, I always said, at the point where I no longer feel like I need financial support, I won't be using this Patreon anymore. And I stuck to my word on that. Things improved. I released my book. And a few more like payments, sponsorships came through, and I thought, you know, I no longer need this as a means of, but my attitude towards it has changed a lot now. I don't see it so much as, you know, give me money, I want money. It's more about being able to find and connect with people who love what you do enough, where they'll actually make this gesture to be a part of this small, tight-knit community. And being able to actually communicate with those people one-on-one and giving them updates and things like that. That's why I want to recreate a Patreon, and it's not focused on, you know, tiers and all this stuff. You know, it will be like, my plans will be like, it's going to be like, there's going to be like a lot, the vast majority of stuff will be for the bare minimum, like entry, like that $1 a month thing. And then just a few like demos here and there for like a little bit more. But I want it to be inclusive, but it's not going to be like money focused. It's just about finding those people that love what you do. And I'm really happy it's working out for you as well.
Thank you.
Where can people find you on Patreon, Sarah O'Connell?
Well, they can find me at patreon.com, Sarah O'Connell Show.
Go and pledge. Go and become a patron. Do it. Do it. Join Sarah's amazing magical cult. Do it. It's great.
Thank you very much.
Always good for a plug. You got to do
Absolutely.
it. You got to stick it in there.
Really
That's
is.
what I say.
I know, exactly.
Oh God, I've lost you. Hang on. You made me laugh too much. Technology sucks. There we go. I'm back. You think I'd be good with technology by now? I am not. This is the second time I've ever used Zoom. Second time. Everyone, I see everyone on Twitter going on about, oh, I'm so sick of all these Zoom meetings. I'm just like, am I that antisocial? Like, hang on, all these people, I mean, I'm talking like freelancers as well, like who do what I do. And they're just like, oh, this is like my 4th Zoom meeting this week. And I don't know if they're talking about just hanging out with their friends or whether they are generating a lot more business than I am. I'm just like, why does no one want to talk to me?
I do.
That many people in my life. Oh.
I say, the social distancing thing happened, and I thought, who do I want to speak to on my show? Emma Blackery.
Yeah, and you had me.
And I did, yeah, because it's nice too, because we were speaking about it a few months ago, I think in February. So it's nice that we've been able to.
I'm so glad we actually got it sorted. I'm so glad it all started to work out. I think with a lot of people suddenly having a lot of things sort of postponed or cancelled or shifted around. For instance, I did a collaboration with Prime Video, working on a theme tune to Good Omens, reworking it to put lyrics to it. And the original idea was that I was going to be going to like this big professional studio in London. It was all going to be like filmed by the production company, you know, and it'd be like, stand there, okay, turn to the side, do it again, turn this way, and you're done. But obviously, because of everything that happened, I had to film it at home. So I had my green screen, and I spent about, I think it was like 11 hours doing it myself, different lighting, and I had the production company, I had to like send them photos and test shots of every single shot because they were editing it together. So every time I do a test shot and then take it and then send it to them and then approve it, and then I'd film it, and then I send that to them, and then the next shot, and there was 9 of those, and I did 4 takes of the song each. So it was a long day. I was sick to death of the song by the end of it. But it's amazing it's just amazing how things have changed with all the social distancing, the things that, you know, we've had to do to make things work. One of the really, really good things that's come out of it, like for me creatively, is I didn't have any plans to make any sort of follow-up videos for my new EP. I had my video for the single Wolves come out. I think it was April 5th, I think it was, something like that. Yeah. And that was going to be it, because I wanted to restrict my budget. The album that I did, Villains, cost a lot of money. Not always money that I thought I was going to be spending. So I was very much like, well, I want to really buckle down and try and do this on a low budget, return to music, but not cripple myself. So I didn't know I was going to do one. And then sitting at home with all the social distancing, and then I thought, you know what, time to be creative. So I filmed a lyric video with a camera just against there, all dimly lit. My partner blacked out the windows, and people love it. People really, really enjoy it. They say the video where I'm just sitting there pretending to sing into it. Well, I was singing, but pretending that I'm tracking my vocal for the song. People are like, "This is your best music video ever." I'm like, I spent £15,000 on the Dirt music video, and this is your favourite one. But it totally makes sense. You don't always need massive productions. That's something I'll always say to upcoming artists. You don't need to break the bank to make good stuff. You just need to be inspired and find your own way of making it happen. And that determination will show. So yeah, did it for free, completely for free, and people liked it. And now my partner and I are working on a second one. We're going to do another lyric video.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's going to be cool. I really want to do one for every single one now. And it's interesting. Suddenly having a lot of options restricted can actually be quite inspiring in a way. It helps you haven't got like too many choices. Sometimes like you sit there on Netflix and you're just like, I don't want to watch any of this. There's like 10,000 episodes of something and you're just like, I don't fancy it. There's nothing on here. There's nothing I want. It's like, what? Because we've got too much choice. Yeah. So when that choice is taken away from you and it's like, this is what you can do, here's what you've got, it can actually really help. Think, oh, I can make this happen. So
yeah, I mean, I'll spend an hour on Netflix just scrolling through stuff, and then I'll go, well, I'm going to go to bed now. I've watched an hour's worth of trailers. I've read all the synopsis.
Exactly.
I'm done.
I think if I hear that whoop, whoop, whoop sound one more time, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. Sometimes my partner and I sit there just looking for something to watch, and we can honestly spend like 20 minutes just doing it, just boop, 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 on the Apple TV remote. And you don't realize for a while that you've just been scrolling through all of these creations that people have made. You're like, nah, seen it, not interested, don't know what it is, not in the vibe, not the mood. It's like hours of endless entertainment for like $7.99 a month, and I still can't find a damn thing that I want to watch.
I do wonder, because I rarely watch anything on there. I do wonder if the shows actually exist, or if they know people won't watch them and they just want it to look like there's thousands of things, so they write a description that sounds slightly rubbish and then just display loads of those and you skip through them because nobody ever checks. That's not
a bad theory, just loads and loads of filler. Just filler where it's like dark comedy with elves, or rom-com with Will Ferrell, or it's a buddy cop movie with a dog featuring Adam Sandler. It's like you could just like make a generator.
Yeah.
Just a random generator. I think there's an episode of South Park where they did that, where Eric Cartman had to just pretend to be a robot that generated. You remember?
Wasn't he dressed as a robot?
Yes. Awesome. Yes. I loved it. And it was just like every movie had Adam Sandler in it.
I mean, that is strictly true anyway.
That is strictly true.
Yeah. It's true.
Just go away, Adam Sandler.
Give me a chance to miss you and then come back.
Exactly. Overexposure. Adam Sandler, I've been overexposed to you.
I watched The Wedding Singer 20 times one week and I'm like, it's too much, Adam Sandler. Give me a break.
I still haven't seen that. But Netflix keeps pushing 50 First Dates on me, and I love that film, but not every 2 minutes. It's like when ITV2 just shows Hot Fuzz like every week. It's like, this is a great film, stop ruining it. I love Hot Fuzz, it's one of my favourite films. I don't need to see it all the time.
I think they got a good deal on that film, so they're just showing it as many times as they can.
They absolutely milked it.
Yeah.
We've found that with like loads of episodes of Kitchen Nightmares recently, because me and my partner love watching Gordon Ramsay, and they're just showing the same episode like every day, 5 days.
Yeah. Amazing. So I have that show series linked, and for some reason it always records series 5, and I keep deleting it, and then the next week I have all of series 5 again.
Series link is rubbish, absolutely rubbish. There are sometimes where I'll set a series link because we love watching wrestling, we love watching AEW and WWE. And we'll set it to record, get a series link, and then somewhere down the line, like a week later, they'll change the name of it slightly.
Yeah.
They'll change it from like Best of Raw to Raw Highlights or something, and it won't count. It's like, it's the same show, and now I've missed it because it's on in America and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not going to stay up and watch it. And I end up missing out on it. Very annoying. Seriously.
Yeah, it's either Monday Night Raw live or live Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, Monday Night Raw, and it's like it starts at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
It's like I am not that much of an avid fun party goer. I can't stay up at 1 a.m. That'd be ridiculous. I like being in bed for 10.
That's kind of the middle of the day for me. I'm sort of a night owl, so
nice.
It suits me actually interviewing people in America because their daytime was essentially my daytime.
Yeah, that works pretty well for you.
Yeah.
I've struggled and sort of lived with chronic fatigue since I was I think I was 17 when I got it. So for me, any time of the day is sleepy time. It's a superpower. I can fall asleep anywhere. I can fall asleep on a really busy train if I wanted to. It's constantly a stay awake. Like there's at least a little portion of that in my day-to-day life at any waking minute. It's like, no, don't have a nap. You don't need to nap. But I've never ever been a morning person ever. I used to get in so much trouble when I was employed in cafes and things like that because they'd always give you the early shift, and I'm not the nicest person at any given moment. Sometimes I'm not always nice. I can be a bit straightforward, but when you catch me at 7:30 and I'm here on my own in the freezing cold, I'm setting everything up, and you ask me for a cappuccino, I'm not going to be the happiest person on the planet. So I used to get in a lot of trouble. But it's like, if you don't want me to be rude to these horrible old women, then just start me at like 10 o'clock in the morning. I can wake up like 6 and then go to work in the freezing snow, walk there, and then set up all the like heavy tables, take them outside. Like, who's going to do al fresco dining in December? But had to set up all these like heavy, like I can't remember what they're called, but like, you know, the little sort of things that section off like tables. You know, these heavy metal stands with the canvases between them. You couldn't lift them. I had to roll them out the door every morning. There's like 15 of them, whilst cooking all the food in the morning, heating it all from frozen. It wasn't fun, wasn't easy. I burned a lot of calories for sure, but I was not a happy bunny.
Exhausting.
So yeah.
I must ask you, you supported Busted on tour. How did that come about, and what was the experience like for you?
Oh God. So that came about because I became managed. I was signed under the roster of a guy called Tristan, and he worked at a company, like a music agency called Raw Power, for years and years, and then he branched off and did his own thing. But when he left, one of the acts that was signed to Raw Power was Charlie Simpson, because of Fight Star. He was in the band Fight Star, and then he did his acoustic solo stuff. So when Tristan left Raw Power, he took Charlie with him and started his own management company, and I was signed under that. So that's how I got to be in touch with Charlie. We did like an acoustic duet together, because it's that easy connection, right? I wanted to be picked up as a musician. Charlie was a musician, and then Tristan called me one day and he said, I have some pretty cool, exciting news. And he was like, Busted, they're in talks. They've decided to get back together. I was like, I never thought this would happen. I cried the morning they broke up. And I begged my dad to let me have the day off school, and he didn't. I was a huge Busted fan, massive Busted fan. That's the reason I got my first guitar. And the reason I started playing guitar in the first place, because I wanted to be in Busted. Not the other way around. I didn't want Busted being me. I was going to say that by accident, but and that's terrible. That's a horrible thought. But so Busted got back together, and then they announced their tour. Well, they hadn't announced the tour. They knew it was going to happen, and then Tristan got me the first support slot, which was really, really cool because of the connection. I didn't have to buy on in any way. I was just literally given this opportunity. So I went from playing no solo gigs in my life to playing the O2 Arena,
Wow.
Wembley Arena. At that time, I wasn't a big believer in religion at all, but I got on my knees and I prayed before going on stage at Wembley Arena, because that is, to this day, still the most terrified I've ever felt in my entire life. Like, I felt like I was just going to throw up everywhere. And then when we got on stage, me and my guitarist, about 20 seconds into my first song, the backing track failed and cut out. So it's just me singing a cappella, with like a tiny bit of like guitar from my guitarist underneath. I had no click track. I had
Wow.
nothing. My voice was just being projected out to Wembley Arena, and I just kept singing. I just kept going, just kept on singing, kept going. And after I got off stage, Wheatus were there because they were second support, and got off stage all shaking, and they were just stood there like stunned. And Brendan, the singer from Wheatus, said, I don't know how you did that. Most people would have frozen. They would have frozen and started again, or run off stage, and you just kept singing on your own. I was like, yeah. And but the good thing that came from that was to this day, I've never that terrifying fear of being on stage. I don't have that anymore. Before going on stage, I'm just excited. I'm jumping up and down. I'm excited to do it. I'm not nervous. I'm not like, okay. I'm just like, count down already. I want to go. Let's go. Because I think in that one swift performance, I think any chance of feeling comparatively nervous was completely taken away from me.
You've already played at one of the biggest arenas in the UK, if not the world, and you had the music fail you, and you can still keep going, and your voice is good enough, and you can captivate a huge audience.
Yeah.
And you have that with you all the time now, don't you? So it must be like the biggest safety blanket, I guess, knowing that you can get through that.
It really is. It's like, it sounds strange. The best thought process for it is, well, it can never be as bad as that situation I was handed. Like nothing that could happen in that moment could replicate that moment where the backing track fails.
That's why I do all of these interviews without a backing track, just so that I know I can always do it.
I love that, didn't I? Just edit in like some backing track later on in post, and Photoshop us both to look real.
I might go through different genres. So like next year I might have like a country and western theme, and then R&B, and then my interviews in 2024 will be like 1970s Russian pop music or something.
I want it all to be like 70s-esque TV.
Yes.
Like in like Roy Orbison style, just like vintage TV. I always think of Roy Orbison when I think of the 60s and 70s. It's terrible. I love him. It was certainly an interesting experience for sure.
I must congratulate you too. You once did a charity event and raised £26,000 for charity by shaving your hair. Phenomenal.
Yes, I did. That was back when I think my hair was a big part of my identity online. I was sort of known as like the sassy comedic blogger who changes her hair color every week. Oh, what color is she going to be this week? It became a very much like Emma and her hair sort of thing. And I wanted to shave it for a while anyway, so I thought, what better than to incorporate that with something that could really, really make a change, and raise money for 5 different charities, including the hospice, cancer charities, Save the Children as well. And it was very, very emotional. My dad shaved my head for me live on stage in front of thousands of people, and everyone cried. Oh, and I swore I'd never dye my hair again, and then I did. I always saw it as like a chance to start again, start fresh. My hair was so frazzled and bleach damaged, so I was like, oh, after this, it's just gonna be natural hair from now on. Bleached it blonde like 8 months later.
My hair's getting arrested at the moment because I can't physically do my roots, so it's having a bit of a break, and then I can go in.
Nice. Yeah. My natural roots are down to like there now, I think, because I had like a split hair for a while. I had a red and black last year, about this time last year nearly, I had it done. I really liked it. I thought it was cool. A lot of people didn't like it. They thought it looked bad. And then I got rid of it because it was hard to maintain, and also people didn't like it. And then guess what became the trend? Red and black split dye hair.
You're just ahead of the curve all the time.
I know, I'm a trendsetter, what can I say?
You are. Now, in 2017, you released a book and indeed an audiobook, Feel Good 101. For anyone who hasn't had the pleasure of reading it yet or listening to it, what is it about and what can they gain from it?
Well, it's a self-help book, essentially. I never read any self-help books when I was a teenager. I didn't really have a lot of money for books in the first place when I was a teenager, but the books that I chose were very much more like escapist sort of stuff. But I think one of the main reasons I didn't invest in any self-help books is, number one, there wasn't a lot out there back then. And number two, the self-help books that were out there, they weren't written for people my age group. They weren't written for my demographic. I felt like a lot of self-help books were like Eat, Pray, Love, and, you know, things like that, meant for women in their like 50s who are going through a crisis or something. That was like it, like just like, you know, 15 years ago or so. So when I was approached to write a book, because I made a video saying I used to not like it when YouTubers wrote books, but now I've changed my mind, because I think if they have a positive impact for one person, then it's worth doing. You know, if it makes one person happy, then what's the harm, right? So after I made that video, I was approached by a book publisher called Little Brown, and I was asked, you know, would you write a book? And I was like, what would I write a book about? And I could have made it more autobiographical, like about my career, or I could have written a fiction book, which would have been terrible, because I can't imagine trying to create a fictional world. I don't have the attention span for it. So I thought, well, I have a series on YouTube called Feel Good 101. It's about it's like no nonsense advice to teenagers, you know, talking about like depression and bullying and things like that. So why don't I turn it into a book? Why don't I give people who watch my videos of that age group a book that they can go back to and reference and hear my experiences, what I've learned, and get no nonsense advice that's actually aimed for them. Like, I'm actually speaking to them, not just trying to adapt this 30-year-old book to themselves. So that's essentially what it's about. It covers loads of topics, like I said, like bullying, mental health, like anxiety, sex, loads of things that you go through when you're a teenager. Lots of things that some people feel like they can't talk to their parents about. Some people feel like they can't talk to their teachers, their counselors, anything. I wanted those people to have like a voice, you know, to feel like these things can be talked about. They are normal. It is okay to go through these things, and just normalizing these stigmas. So I was really, really proud of it. I'm still really, really proud of it. I cannot believe I actually wrote like 80,000 words. Spoken about 80,000 words in this interview. I feel like I haven't shut up. But talking is very, very different. But I'd sit there in cafes in Brighton typing it, because that's the cliche thing to do. You know, you go out to write. It wasn't always easy, for sure. It was a bit of a struggle at points. It's hard trying to convey, you know, experiences from your life and trying to look back on them and tell them accurately, and also have this like moralistic like ending to a story as well. Like, you know, this is what I would do differently now. It wasn't always easy. Trying to give advice to people is so hard when you're not talking to someone like one-on-one. When you're trying to write a very vague idea of advice to like thousands of people who are all going through different things.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy, but it went down really well. I think that's number 4 in the bestsellers, I think, in Sunday Times. So I have a bestsellers book, which is wild. Amazing. I did a book tour for it. And people really loved it. I still get tweets to this day, people saying like they've just got it for the first time and they're reading it, and it really helps them. And that goes back to my point. If it helps one person, then it was worth doing. Totally worth it.
And the book is really easy to read, and it's enjoyable, and you share lots of personal stuff in there too, and great advice. And I was reading through it, then I found out there's an Audible version as well, so I have that. So I've been listening to that too.
Oh, no way.
So that's kind of good. So I recommend getting both. And I think if you get the digital edition, you can actually upgrade it on Amazon and get the Audible version for a few pounds more, which is great too.
I didn't know that. Well, thank you for saying that. Everyone sign up. You can, and also if you sign up for an Audible free trial, like if you haven't done that already, or if you know have another email address, then you know you can download the book for free on the free trial. You get a credit for it. So you know what? Because I'm not concerned with any money making things. If you any way you can get hold of it, just get hold of it and read it. You know, just go for it. But I think you liked it. I really
it's great. And because I was reading the book and it occurred to me I had to go and put my makeup on and stuff, and I'm like, I want to continue hearing this without holding a thing. And then I thought Audible book. Yeah. So then I put that on, and then I could continue doing it.
That was a wild experience recording an audiobook. For the most part, I got through it quite quick. it quite well.
Yeah, it's about 7.5 hours long. How many sessions did it take you to record that?
I think it was 3 or 4. You know, I can't remember how many hours worth it was. Was it like 7.5? Really? My
Yeah,
goodness,
well, yeah,
that's
it's
a lot.
7 hours 23, and it also includes, there's an interview at the end of it as well, which I haven't listened to yet.
Yes, she is a fantastic woman. Very, very insightful, very intelligent author. And I've loved her books for a very long time. It's really, really amazing to get to speak to her. And it's a really, really great interview. I was really, really, really happy with that. But yeah, recording it was interesting. You have to make sure you're clear on your words. Sometimes they'd pause it and go, can you do it again, but just emphasize this word a bit more, or you're talking a bit too slow, talking a bit too fast, because I talk quite fast as it is, but you have to read at this nice coherent speed, which when I get audiobooks, I don't know what you're like, but whenever I get them, I always put it on 1.25 speed.
Yes.
Always. I prefer it when people talk quick. I can absorb the information fine.
Yeah, I can too. I like information quickly. Like I normally like speed read things anyway.
Me too. I'm a massive speed. Oh, I'm doing it again. I'm a massive speed reader. I can skim read something and get all of the information out of it. Like literally going, yeah, got it. My partner's like, you can't have read that. I was like, I know everything about that. I know all of it. I've read it all. He's like, okay, well, what did it say then? I just recite it.
Yeah, in order.
Yeah, I think it's just I read a lot as a kid. I think I can just get through a book. I can just chomp my way through a book. So it was weird having to sort of read it slowly, and then in my head I was just like, God, if I was listening to this, I would so speed this up.
Yeah, so my brain works quicker than this.
Exactly.
Now, in 2018, you went on a European tour. How do you go about building not a fan base just in the UK, but you know, in Germany and Amsterdam and Oslo and Stockholm and all these places? How do you reach out to them?
With great difficulty. My music and my videos have reached these territories before, but obviously the UK is my main demographic. It's the UK and then the US, and then I think it's like Australia, Canada, and then countries in Europe. So embarking on a European tour was an interesting choice. I had a lot of fun with it. I loved every single show, and the fans who turned up for it loved it as well. As far as I know, anyway, I had a great time. But it was a very, very different experience to play in the UK. The UK, I'm used to like larger venues. In these places, I would do like a venue like a size down, and then that wouldn't always be at full capacity. And that's purely because it's not my territory. You know, you have to work your way up slowly. You can't just, you know, unless you're like this like cult icon YouTuber that everyone just like gets behind, you know, where everyone's got like profile pictures of them and rabid fan bases. You can't just be popular in one country and then have that same success in every other country. A lot of countries in Europe, particularly Germany, you have to be very patient and then you're rewarded for it. Germany is a country where if you visit a few times and you do a few tours there, then they really appreciate that and you become like a regular that they come to see. It was a very, very, very different experience for me, traveling around the tour bus, which I've never done before, going to these venues and cities I've never been to before. I would like to do it again, but under different circumstances, I think, like different music, different means of getting around. I have a completely different management team now, and I think it would be a lot more interesting next time. But ultimately, the shows are great, and I loved it. And I want to perform more around the world. I'd love to do a US tour when the finances make sense to do it. Australia, I'd love to go to Australia as well. But it's about making it work, you know, flights,
Absolutely.
hiring equipment, hiring session bands, shipping merch over or having it printed over there, the logistics. My partner is my tour manager, which you know, ooh, taboo, but that's how we met. He was my tour manager on my HMV tour when my album came out, and then he became my tour manager for the European tour, and he's been tour managing since like 2012, like full-time professionally, and in the short time we've been together I've learned so much about the logistics of tour, and it's mad the amount of things that go into a tour that people don't know about, because you turn up, with your ticket, you buy some merch, you watch the show, you go home. But that's like 1 hour, an hour and a half out of your day. But the touring industry is 24/7. There's always things happening. You're always traveling. There's always something. There's something always goes wrong. Like every day, there's always nothing ever goes without a hitch. Touring is 1% performing, 99% solving problems that happen along the way. But yeah, it's a fascinating business, but can be very, very stressful.
I suppose because there's so many moving parts, you know, anything could go wrong at the venue you're working at, or with any of the equipment, it can suddenly stop working, or if you get a sore throat, or if someone doesn't turn up, or whatever it is.
Precisely. Merch can not be loaded onto a van at the right time. Your guitarist amp might go wrong, so then you have to, if he doesn't have a spare, then you have to find a hire company in the city you're in, go and pick that up. Everyone has to be at lobby call at the right time, which you'd think would be easy. It's not always easy. There's tons of things. There's tons of things that can go wrong, but ultimately, I've been very, very fortunate to have my partner as my tour manager, because he's so good at what he does that everything always works out. The gigs are always fantastic, and every problem gets rectified. He's so good at finding solutions to problems, and very, very lucky, very lucky.
Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing you when everything opens back up on tour and then going to one of your shows.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait until it's safe again. You know, I'd like to wait until the first wave, the first like big wave of returns is done. Just I think that's the right thing to do. I think there's a lot of bands that will go on tour the second that they're legally allowed to, and I just think give it a little bit of a wide berth, you know. Just like as soon as this lockdown's over, like everyone's like, oh, I'm going to visit my parents like the day it's over. It's like, just give it like another week or two on top. We've already been in lockdown for months. Give it another couple of weeks for safety. That's what we're going to do anyway. Yeah,
I think so, because there's an eagerness for people to go back out, and it's like, well, there's not a vaccine yet, so there's no difference. Exactly. Like it's still kind of out there, and it's not, we haven't cured it. So you might want to go to the pub or the cinema or the beach or whatever, but is it really worth that?
Exactly. The wave, the second, third, fourth wave can still happen until we're all mass vaccinated. It's a long way off. It's a long way off. You know,
I think so.
I reckon it's going to be another year or so until the vaccine. You know, and I know things won't stay shut for that long, but you know, it's just act with caution. Man, you don't want this thing. All these people saying, I don't want to wear a mask. Well, I've got bad news for you if you go on a ventilator. I've got some terrible news coming for you. It's a big mechanical mask that pumps things into your lungs. You ain't going to like that either.
Exactly, and you can't have a barbecue at the beach with one of those on.
Exactly. Exactly. You can't queue in a Sainsbury's car park with a ventilator. You can with a mask.
One thing I found really interesting too was you have an interest in North Korea. I've been to South Korea. I've been to Seoul. I went there in 2016, I think, which was fun. Have you ever been over there?
No, I haven't. I'd love to go to South Korea. I think it's a fantastic place. Seoul, I think, is only like 20 or so kilometers from the border with North Korea. You can actually go and visit the border where the DMZ is, and you can actually overlook and see into North Korea, and you can see how heavily armed it is on both sides. I'd love to do it. There is also like tons of activists that meet up in Seoul and send USBs with information about the outside world in helium balloons and send them over to North Korea. They try and shoot them down, but that's a massive information influx campaign that happens, which I always find, I think it's fascinating the way they do it. But it is very, very provocative to do it. But yeah, there's like annual meetings of that where like people from all over the world send information like audiobooks, movies, everything, just trying to get Western media over into North Korea to say, look, not all bad, we're okay, we're not out to get you, you know. Also, we
send balloons with films on them.
Yeah, exactly. We're nice, we do nice things. But yeah, I've never been to South Korea, but I would love to. It looks so beautiful, and I love Korean food as well. And I'm a massive foodie. I just want to eat my way around the world. So I'd love to try like black bean noodles, like authentic, and oh, I'd love it. I would love to go there. I'd love to try like traditional kimchi and things like that.
It's so good. I really do recommend it. It's a gorgeous place, and it's really interesting too because they have, it seems like the latest technology in these amazing buildings and stuff like that. And then I went into this underground shopping mall thing, which had these incredible shops. But then across the street, there were like these really ancient temples, and it's just the contrast between the two things and the horizons. It's gorgeous.
Kind of, obviously not on the same scale. It kind of reminds me of here in Birmingham. It's the strangest city at the minute. We've got like so many like old buildings, like really historical buildings, like cathedrals, and then next door you have Selfridges, which is this great big metal spaceship building. It's gigantic, and it's right next to like this old cathedral, and it's like, what is happening? Obviously not as cool as a temple, but I moved here back in December, so I haven't even got to enjoy most of it yet. I've been cursed. You know, I was so excited because my partner's from here, and I wanted him to show me around Birmingham. I want to eat my way around Birmingham, and this happened. So you
still have it to come. So you've got that to look
I'm
forward
to. I'm going to be here for a while, I'm sure. I'd like to be. It's great here, but South Korea sounds really, really cool.
It's an amazing place.
Yeah, North Korea. I first started getting into it back in 2014. The topic of it. I think I saw a video by author John Green. I think he was doing this charity. No, he wasn't doing charity. He just made a video about this book that he read about a defector's tale on it. So I bought it, and I was fascinated and hooked from then on. I've got a whole shelf on my bookshelf dedicated to North Korea books. I must have like 30, 40 books now. Working my way through those. I've seen every documentary. Raised $10,000 for Liberty in North Korea, which is a fantastic charity that helps defectors that have already fled from North Korea. They help them get through China and helps them get into either America or South Korea. You can't just like hop from north to south. You have to go via China or via Russia or China into Mongolia or like via other countries in Asia just to get back into South Korea, where they then put you through like a program for like 3 months to make sure you're not a North Korean spy and to try and help you adjust to the capitalist world. And Liberty in North Korea, fantastic. And I did a charity project for John and Hank Green's Project for Awesome, it's called, this annual fundraiser. And by public vote through my campaign video, they got $10,000 US. So I'm really, really proud of that.
Well done. You've done so many amazing things, and I love that about you too. You're a creative person, you're a funny person, you're an inspiring person, you're a very talented singer, but you're also doing these great things to help people around the world as well and shine the spotlight on these really important causes.
Yeah, I think it's important if you have a platform and you can do things for good and not just like spout your mouth off for for your own ego or just for people to clap and go, yay, you're so great. If you can actually do something that actually invokes change for the better, then do it. If you have the platform, because there are a lot of people out there who don't have the platform, who would love to have that platform, who would do amazing things with that platform. So if you sit there just talking about yourself all day, every day, then it's wasted, I think. I think you have to educate, you have to inspire. And I think the three things I always like to say when I make videos, I like it to be like one of three things. Does it entertain? Does it educate? Or does it inspire? If it does one of those three, then I'm happy to upload it. If it doesn't do any of those things, then it's a waste of server space, in my opinion. Like for me personally, I think it's quite a good little checklist. Just one of those three: educate, entertain, inspire. Just positive things.
I think that's really important. And on my show, I try to, shine a spotlight on sometimes, people that nobody's even heard of yet, but I know maybe they've worked on an independent film, which they got all the funding themselves and they made it, with a few of their friends, but it's really good and no one knows about it. Yeah. And then, other times I'll be on a red carpet speaking to people then, which is all good too. But I like celebrating everyone and all the great stuff they do. And if I can also do that, but also help educate people too. So if they're interested in film or music or animation, then then a student can learn how another person, what their path was, and maybe that will help influence theirs.
Exactly.
And then if it's fun too, that's always good.
Exactly. I always found one of the quickest ways to feel happy is to be happy for other people.
Yeah.
You know, just if you can, even if you feel like you haven't had a lot of successes recently in the last like few weeks or so, when you see someone else that you care about doing really, really well and they've done something they're really proud of, and you're like, I'm so happy for you. You deserve this. It makes you feel happy as well. You're living in a world where people are achieving things. And if you surround yourself with people who are happy and who are achieving things, it's just, you're setting yourself up in this cycle of inspiration. You know, you should always try and put yourself around people that make you happy and make you want to be a better version of yourself. If you're surrounded by people who make you a worse version of yourself, then you're going to be a worse version of yourself. You're not going to be happy at all. You should just focus on just supporting other people, and they'll support you if they are people that you know should be keeping around. If you've got this cycle of people who celebrate each other, then you're onto a winner.
Just makes the world a better place, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, speaking of which, you are also an LGBT ally. Have you got any messages for the trans community who are kind of going through a tough time at the moment?
I will never, ever, ever be an ally who sits and tries to word things as in like, I know what you're going through, or oh, we've all had struggles, because I see that a lot. No, I don't know. I have absolutely no idea how hard it can possibly be to not feel purely comfortable with who you are. And I think seeing people who go through that journey and basically just fight to become the person that they are, but really, really, I'm so bad at wording things when it comes to this stuff, because I'm not someone that will ever try and pretend to know everything about it. It's so hard, because I feel so fortunate that I haven't had any of these struggles, and I can't imagine them. And seeing people overcome these struggles that I can't even fathom is extremely inspiring to see. And Pride Month itself, I think, is so important to the community. I see so many jaded, horrible comments being like, "Oh, why do people need a Pride Month? You know, why? You know, well, we don't have a straight Pride Month." No, you don't, because every month is Straight Pride Month.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You know, it's a cis world. Congratulations, right? I think it's so important, and seeing the community come together and line the streets when, of course, it is safe to do so. Seeing all these people come together and support each other, when everyone goes through different struggles across the spectrum. Everyone's story is their own. Everyone's struggles, everyone's are their own struggles. Everyone is different in how they have learned to adapt in this world that has always been like predisposed to make them feel as though they're not normal, like this is against the norm. Seeing these people come together and support each other with this one common goal of just promoting acceptance and love that many people have not felt throughout their life. You know, it's incredible to see. And I hope that this Pride Month, I hope everyone realizes that humanity is a very fragile thing. I think a lot of people are realizing that, and a lot of people who hold prejudices, I feel like I really hope people are beginning to see that these horrible thoughts that, you know, they're harboring, that take up their day, when it really comes down to it, it's not worth being so hateful and horrible. Let people live. Life is a wonderful thing. Life is something worth celebrating. And we're all in this on this planet together. We should all be coexisting. And I've seen the trans community become far more accepted in society, as it should be, in my lifetime. It's come so far, and it can only become more of a commonly spoken about thing. I think it's fantastic that things are being spoken about in schools. Pride Month, where things are so visible on social media. You know, when I was young, there wasn't any of this outreach on social media. And I'm sure that people who are transgender, when I was like friends with them, or I can't imagine like how alone they were feeling, because it just wasn't widely spoken about. It still was seen as so taboo. And now seeing how different the world is and how much more accepting it is, and I know we have a long way to go, but it's positive. I'm positive about the future, and I hope everyone has a fantastic Pride Month. I really, really do.
That was perfectly said. Thank you.
I'm so long-winded.
No, not at all.
Like I said, I always feel so. I always want to put myself across in the right way, with the right, with the right words, with something that affects people's lives.
Absolutely.
So deeply. So
now I must talk to you about, on the 15th of May, you released your new EP, which I'm loving, My Arms Open, which I think is a lyric from the song Wolves.
It is, yeah.
What was the reaction like to that release?
Oh my goodness, I stayed up until midnight, well, way past midnight. I stayed until 5 a.m, but I was there for the midnight release, and the feedback that was coming through that night, everyone saying they're so excited, they were listening to it in order, saying this is my favorite, no, this is my favorite. After last year, I released a single called Cute Without You, and then I haven't released anything since. I went through a lot of changes in 2019, some of them great, some of them not so great. I had a whole management shift, which sort of threw me for a little bit, took me out of the music game for a little while. I had to sort of rebuild my team. And there was a point where I was feeling so low in myself with everything that was going on, not just regarding that situation, but I was just like, I don't know if I can release music again. It's my lifeblood, it's my purpose, it's my passion in life, and I couldn't write. I'd sit there and I'd freeze. I just couldn't write anything. And I thought, well, this is it. That was it. That was my last single. And it was only through the encouragement of my partner that I managed to get out of that funk and record a new EP. And my point being, I really felt in the weeks leading up to Wolves being released, I was like, are people going to have forgotten that I'm a musician? Is that, I haven't released anything. I haven't talked about releasing anything. I haven't done anything huge since my album release in 2018. Is this going to go down well? Do people care anymore? And then when Wolves was released and it got such a great reaction, and then when the EP came out and people are loving it, they're still receiving their CDs in the post now. And the lyric video that I did for Plot Holes, and that's the most overwhelmingly positive feedback I've ever had on a song, ever. In all my career, there's always been like a little bit of backlash to some songs, because music is very personal, right? And everyone's a critic these days. But Plot Holes has just been overwhelmingly positive, just like 100% positive comments. And seeing that just made me just beam with happiness. Like, people still recognize me as a musician, they still like what I do. The reaction was fantastic, and I'll never forget it in my life.
I'm so happy for you, because your music is just a joy to listen to. Some artists release songs and there'll be a few good ones, and then several you want to skip, so you end up making your own playlist. But with you don't, and you can just listen to all of it, enjoy it, and love it.
Oh, thank you so much.
I really mean that, honestly.
Oh, thank you. That's the best compliment a musician could ever receive, honestly. Love you. That makes me so happy. Thank you.
Now, I must ask too, the Wolves music video is great, but did you buy every single light bulb in Tesco?
The lighting director sourced all of the bulbs, probably wholesale, because there was so many of them. Every bulb was individually controlled.
Oh, wow.
On these DMX, every single one could go off at a different time. So the sequencing of it looked phenomenal. You could sweep it from left to right, up, down, you could have them. I spent hours in that box, and it's a good thing actually, because the warehouse was freezing when we filmed it, and I was the only one that was warm all day.
Could you see the light bulbs hours afterwards, like they're burned into your retina?
Oh God, yes. I couldn't see properly for like a day. It was just everything was tinted green. Everything was a weird greeny colour. But yeah, it was a fantastic shoot. We did it on such a great budget. The director totally got the vision for it. I'm just really, really proud of it.
History of Touches is described as a demo. Why is that?
I get asked this quite a lot actually. It's because it's the first song that I have ever like professionally released that I have solely produced, mixed, and mastered by myself. I started doing it in 2018. That's when I first began writing it. But usually what happens is I write a demo to a certain degree, which is what I did for Walls and Plot Holes and Forever. And then I take that demo to a producer and say, make it sound like this. And we work together to build the sounds from the demo that I made. But this song was all 100% done by me. And it's so nice when you go on view credits on Spotify and it's just me. But the reason I put it as a demo is because I wanted to make it clear that this is the type of quality that I can produce on my own, and it is something that I could have taken to a studio and said, what would you add to this, what would you build to this, but I was really happy with it as it was. But to me, like, I felt like it was important to sort of still class it as in demo form, because I wasn't like too confident still putting my name as like full producer of like a completely polished song. But the feedback that I've had from it has been so amazing that maybe I won't put demo next time.
It's a gorgeous song, and it definitely stands out. And I listened to it and I was like, why is this a demo? Why is there something missing from it? And it was really good. So.
Thank you. I'm glad you didn't feel like anything was missing. That's the perfect thing. That's what I want to hear. But yeah, I've had a lot of people ask that, say, why have you called it a demo? Because people genuinely hear it as a finished song. So it gave me a lot of confidence, made me feel really good in my production skills.
I listened to it several thousand times and I couldn't work out why.
There you go. You're hearing it in your sleep because it says ASMR, like my ASMR.
Yeah, you should do that.
If you listen on headphones, you will get tingles.
The strong stuff, the ASMR.
I like watching people do ASMR mukbangs, which is where people just eat. They just stay quiet and they just eat really close to a microphone. And usually I hate the noise of anyone eating. I hate chewing noises. It's called misophonia.
I have that.
Yeah, but for some reason, this thing that is the epitome of listening to people eat, I love it. I love it so much, but I think I just love the food more than anything. It's terrible.
I watch too many cookery programs, and I think I'm just in a constant state of hunger because of it.
Me too. I watch every cooking program. Kitchen Nightmares, Come Down With Me, everything on the Food Network. Jamie Oliver's my best mate. I love watching food programs. It's just, I just pretend I'm eating it. It's terrible. I can smell it through the screen. Massive foodie. Love my food.
And then you watch them cook this amazing stuff, and then you have to go to the fridge and get an apple.
Yeah, you got like a slice of flappy cheese. You're like, oh, I just watched these guys make a nice spinach and ricotta ravioli dish, and I'm here with a flappy bit of American cheese. And
I haven't taken the plastic off it.
And I'm still eating it, and it still tastes better than the actual cheese.
Is there anyone that you'd love to do a duet with? Anyone in the world, past or present?
Taylor Swift. Definitely Taylor Swift, 100%. It's one of those things where you hope if you put it out in the ether, then you can make it work, right? Then it will happen.
I think so.
Yeah, you have to wish it into fruition, as they say.
The internet brings things and stuff and people and opportunities together.
Exactly. You know, she collaborated with Brendan Urie from Panic at Disco, so never say never. You know, she's open to collaboration. So Taylor, hit me up. Hayley Williams would be amazing. But just I mean, I love focusing on my own music and developing myself as an artist. But if either of those two like opportunities came up, I could never say that. Never. That would be phenomenal.
Well, I'm sure the second they watch this show, which I'm sure they will,
Oh,
then they'll be in touch.
Oh, hopefully so. You know, they're massive, massive fans of both of us, I'm sure.
By the way, I loved your acoustic tribute to Britney Spears. Oops, I did it again for the 20th anniversary.
Did you like it? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so glad. Thank you. I learned it yesterday and then just like recorded it, like that little brief demo within like 5 minutes. So
Wow.
I'm happy it worked. The chords are really satisfying for it, and I'm going to be doing a full version for sure.
Are you ready?
You're working that out. I loved it. I love doing it. It's a great song. It's really fun to play. So you can look out for Britney Spears tribute coming soon. Shitney Spears.
Well, see, because there's all these people stuck in lockdown at the moment, the other day I had the idea of doing, it's called a variety extravaganza. So I invited acoustic singers and magicians and puppeteers, ventriloquists
so cool.
to all record these little performances and put them in my show. And I'm working on a second episode, and you're very welcome to do something for that if you'd like to.
Oh, that sounds pretty sweet. I might have to. I have to do a little cover or something. I'll bust out the Britney again.
Oh, you should, yeah, absolutely.
That's it. I'm just going to be known for Britney covers now. I've decided I'm rebranding. I am Shitney Spears. I will just be doing Britney covers from now on. All future music is scrapped. I am just covering Britney.
And then she can cover you, and then...
That'd be amazing. She's my dream collaborator. There you go. Sussed it. Got it sorted.
You can have a Las Vegas residency.
Oh, God, Vegas. Brutal. That'd be amazing.
Tell me a fun fact about you, something people may not know, a party trick.
Well, it's not exactly the most overwhelming, but I can, I do this thing, like naturally when I yawn, that like I spit water by accident. It's called gleeking.
Is it under your tongue?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I do it every time, because when I first found out I could do it, I got so fixated on the fact that I could do it that it became the normal way of me yawning, and now I can't do it without that. And my partner saw it for the first time the other week. We've been living together for ages and ages, and we've been together like over a year and a half, and it was the first time he saw it. We were just sitting on the sofa, and I just yawned, and just a jet stream of water came out. He was like, "What the fuck was that?" He'd never seen it before, and I had to explain to him it's called gleeking. So whenever I yawn, which is a lot because of the fatigue, I just get soaked. It's terrible. I have this horrible. Oh God, I'm talking about yawning. Well, I have this horrible thing at the minute when I'm doing sit-ups. Just before I start, I get really yawny. So I'm laying on the floor and I yawn, and it goes all back over my face. It's horrible, and I forget every day that happens, and I do it every day.
Have you got any messages for people watching the Sarah O'Connell Show and your fans around the world?
Oh, do I have any messages? Number one, if you haven't heard of me, please listen to my music. Number two, if you have heard of me and you're watching this because you know who I am, please listen to my music. That would be great. Also, I just hope everyone is keeping happy and healthy and well at the moment. In these strange and unprecedented times that everyone goes on about. Your main priority is your mental health. Surround yourself with things that make you happy. Don't feel pressured to create things. It's hard to stay motivated right now, so don't put pressure on yourselves. Relax, let ideas come to you. Don't force anything out. Don't compare yourselves to other people who you think might be coping a little bit better than you. It has no reflection on you. And listen to my music. Subliminal messages in there, by the way.
There was. I didn't hear any subliminal messages. All I know is I feel really compelled to listen to your music.
Oh wow, how weird. How crazy. Oh my God, how amazing.
And I might get the music separately and put it in different rooms, so if I go into the room I can still continue listening to it.
Ah, fantastic. That'd be wonderful. A different song playing in every room. That'd be great.
A treat for the neighbours and myself.
Ah, yeah. You know, we can't have street parties at the moment, but you can blare my music out on the road and get an ASBO.
The great thing is my neighbours love it when I listen to music really loudly. Like they start joining in and banging on the walls. It's amazing.
I love it. I love you.
Oh, thank you.
You're fantastic.
Love you too.
Oh.
And I'm so happy you were able to come on my show today.
Oh, I'm so happy to, like, you know, that you had me on. I'm so glad we finally made this work. I'm sorry that I've been waffling for an hour and a half. It's a very long interview. I hope you don't mind that. I'm sure you've got a lot of editing to do now.
No, none of it. I just put them out. It's fine. That's that one done next.
Oh shit! She's a machine. You're gonna bust them out. Like I said, I'll send everything over to you. Sure.
Thank you so much. And of course, thank you, Emma Blackery, for coming on my show. And thank you to everybody watching at home. Be sure to share, subscribe, give this video a big thumbs up and leave lots of lovely comments. I'll see you all again soon for another episode of the Sarah O'Connell Show. Bye.
Bye.